Spring allergies get so much attention this time of year, and of course they do. The sun is shining, the trees are blooming, there's pollen floating around, but there's another health issue that quietly affects millions of kids, and that's constipation. And if you're a parent dealing with that, chances are your pediatrician prescribed something called MiraLAX and told you that it was just perfectly safe for your child to be taking. But then something strange might have started happening. Weeks into using it, your child begins having meltdowns, or anxiety, or mood swings, or behavioral changes that you've never seen before. And you start wondering, is this normal, or is there something else going on? But no one told you or warned you that this could happen. Here's what most parents don't know. MiraLAX is not FDA approved for children under the age of 17. And over the years, there's been numerous reports to the FDA from parents describing neuropsychiatric side effects in children, including anxiety, aggression, paranoia, mood swings, and even some OCD tendencies. In this video specifically then, for parents whose children are taking MiraLAX or other laxatives for chronic constipation, and especially if you've noticed behavioral changes. It's also for parents who feel frustrated because their child's constipation keeps cycling back, even though you've been faithfully following the medication plan. In this video, you'll learn why MiraLAX isn't FDA approved for kids and the side effects that most doctors never mention. We'll talk about what we call the perfect storm and how it can create nervous system dysfunction that shows up as constipation. Also, why laxatives only manage the symptom instead of restoring natural digestive function. And finally, the neurological approach that helps so many kids regain healthy digestion without medications and without scary side effects. Let me first start with a story that we see far too often in our office. A mom named Laura came into our office feeling completely overwhelmed. Her son Justin had been struggling with constipation since he was a baby. And after months of discomfort and doctor's visits, his pediatrician prescribed MiraLAX and reassured her that it was safe and commonly used. And like most parents, who wouldn't, she trusted the recommendation. No fault of her own. But not long after starting the medication, something changed. Justin began having severe anxiety, aggressive outbursts, and emotional meltdowns that seemed to appear just out of nowhere. And Laura told us, I had no idea MiraLAX could make his behavior worse. My doctor never mentioned anything about the side effects like that. Unfortunately, Laura's experience is not rare. Constipation affects up to 30% of children worldwide, according to the American Academy of Family Physicians. Because of that, many pediatricians turn to polyethylene glycol, which is the active ingredient in MiraLAX, as a first-line treatment. But what often gets overlooked are the potential risks and the deeper reason the constipation started in the first place. First, let's talk about something most parents are shocked to learn. MiraLAX is not FDA approved for children under 17 years old. When doctors prescribe it to kids, it's considered off-label use, meaning it hasn't gone through the same long-term safety testing in pediatric populations. And over the years, the FDA has received numerous reports of neuropsychiatric side effects in children. Like I said, anxiety, aggression, paranoia, mood swings, and obsessive-compulsive behaviors. And beyond that, the commonly listed side effects include bloating, gas, nausea, abdominal cramping, and diarrhea, and in rare cases, electrolyte imbalances or intestinal bleeding. Wow, yes. But the bigger issue is this. In traditional medicine, constipation is typically treated as a symptom to manage, not a signal that something deeper is happening in the body. So when symptoms persist, doctors often adjust the dosage or add another medication. The child becomes increasingly dependent on outside-in support while the root cause remains untouched. And to understand why, we need to talk about how MiraLAX actually works. MiraLAX works through a process called osmosis. It pulls water into the intestines to artificially soften the stool and force a bowel movement. But that process bypasses the body's natural digestive control system, which is regulated by the nervous system. Your child's nervous system acts like an air traffic controller, coordinating every step of digestion, from stomach acid production to intestinal movement to nutrient absorption, and then finally to elimination. When everything is working properly, digestion flows automatically, but when the nervous system is dysregulated, those signals get disrupted. Using MiraLAX in that situation is a little like pressing the gas pedal while the parking brake is still on. You might force movement temporarily, but you're not fixing the underlying mechanical problem. And when the system stays disrupted long-term, other health issues can start to appear. Research has shown that children who receive multiple rounds of antibiotics before the age of 2 are significantly more likely to develop allergies, asthma, and digestive issues later on in life. Disrupting natural physiological processes, especially early in development, can have these long-term consequences. So this brings up something to us that we talk about often in our office, and that's called the perfect storm. For many kids struggling with chronic constipation, the issue actually started long before the symptoms appeared. Prenatal stress during pregnancy can affect the developing baby's nervous system and can create heightened fight or flight responses and patterns. And then birth interventions like C-sections, forceps, vacuum extractions can create physical stress on the spine and nervous system, leading to what chiropractors call subluxations, areas where communication between the brain and the body can become disrupted. And finally, then number 3, when you add in environmental toxins like heavy metals, pesticides, plastics, these can interfere with neurological signaling. Repeated antibiotic exposure can disrupt the delicate balance of gut bacteria that supports digestion. All of these factors combine to create this sympathetic dominance where a child's nervous system is just stuck in stress mode. It's almost like a computer with too many tabs open, struggling to perform even the basic of functions, and digestion is one of the first systems that gets affected. So what's the path forward? Instead of forcing the digestive system to move artificially, we focus on restoring nervous system function. That's where neurologically focused chiropractic care comes into play. In our office, we use advanced technology called insight scans to evaluate the health of a child's nervous system. These scans measure 3 key things: heart rate variability, or HRV, and then this shows the balance between sympathetic fight or flight like we were talking about, and the parasympathetic resting and digesting, where kiddos need to be. Number 2, thermal scans that detect areas of inflammation and stress along the spine. And then number 3 are surface EMG scans. These measure neuromuscular tension and nervous system interference. Together, these 3 scans can help us identify areas of subluxation and nervous system dysregulation. And then from there, we use gentle yet specific adjustments to reduce sympathetic stress and activate the vagus nerve, the key nerve responsible for digestion in the body's resting and digesting state. One of the most common things we see improve first is digestive motility. That's exactly what happened with Justin. His scan showed significant subluxation and sympathetic dominance affecting his nervous system, and then after several weeks of neurologically focused care, his bowel movements normalized, his stomach pain disappeared, and his behavior improved so dramatically that he was eventually able to discontinue his ADHD medication. And stories like Justin's remind us of something incredibly important. Your child's constipation isn't just a digestive problem, it's often a neurological one. And while MiraLAX might provide temporary relief, it doesn't address why the nervous system lost its ability to regulate digestion in the first place. You're doing everything right as a parent, trust me, but sometimes we're simply addressing things in the wrong order. The foundation has to come first, and when the nervous system begins functioning the way it was designed to, everything else in the body finally has the opportunity to work properly. So if your child is struggling with chronic constipation, or you've noticed concerning side effects from MiraLAX or other medications, we encourage you to explore drug-free neurological solutions. Click the link in our bio, send us a direct message, or schedule directly with us here at Foundations Chiropractic. Your family deserves real answers, real hope, and real healing.